If you are just logging in, I want to be sure that everyone can hear and see me for tonight's presentation. So if you could send me a message to let me know that you can hear and see me okay. And while I am trying to get myself comfortable and situated, I'm going to just give a little bit of time for folks to come in and join tonight's training before I get off, before I kick off introducing myself. So again, as you come in, if you could just let me know that you can hear and see me. Also, I'd love to know where you are joining from, what part of the country you're joining from, your city, your state. Also, if you're a filmmaker, aspiring filmmaker, or an actor, editor, director, whatever form of filmmaking you're working in right now, I'd love to know that as well, to kind of get a feel for who we have on for tonight's training. So like I said, I'm just getting myself organized here. I see some folks coming in. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so again, I'm hoping that you all can hear me okay. Let me check my settings to make sure that I have chat enabled. That would help. Okay, I believe that I do. I believe that I do. At any point, if you guys have trouble hearing me, just give me a shout. I am located in the DC area, and earlier today we were having some bad storms. So have my fingers crossed that that's all passed over and won't cause me any trouble for tonight. Now that I've given everyone a few minutes to come in, I am going to start. My name is Tanika Wright. I am owner and founder of Reel 365, which is a subscription video on demand service that hosts movies made by Black filmmakers. Hi, Renee. Thank you, Renee, for chiming in. Renee, can you hear and see me okay? Can you let me know that, please? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so now I'm going to keep pressing forward. Let me attempt to share my screen, and I want you guys to let me know that you can see that as well. I'm going to share tonight's presentation. Okay, let's see here. And okay, and then tonight's title for this presentation is 6 Insider Secrets for Funding Your Next Big Film. As I said before, I'm owner and founder of Reel 365. The mission of Reel 365 is to provide quality movies. We create platforms to expand the viewing audience for Black filmmakers, which alter how people of color are viewed in media by taking control of the images being shown in film and television. This next slide, Issa Rae, her famous quote, "I'm rooting for everyone Black," which is true for me too. You know, the number of films being shown that feature Black people, that have us actually working on set, working behind the scenes, working at the writer's table, green lighting, film and TV, you know, the number of us that are in charge of what's being seen by the masses is horribly small, embarrassingly small. And so I am rooting for everyone Black. I would love to see more of us in those roles. The goals of Real 365 to increase viewership of movies made by Black filmmakers, therefore increasing the amount of paid workers in front of and behind the camera, and to change the view of Blacks caused by years of discriminatory character portrayal in television and film. And my goal, I'm going to get into my goal, but it is killing me right now the way this is set up with my picture in the corner. Let's see how I get rid of that. Nope, that's not it. Let's see, I know I saw it earlier. Okay, I guess I just have to go with it. There we are. Okay, back to my goal. As I've been saying, I'd like to see more people represented. It impacts how we see ourselves, and how we see ourselves is passed on to generation after generation. I know for myself, growing up as a kid in the 80s, I remember specifically seeing a very small amount of Black people in television. And then in going to the movies, you know, when we got the treat to go to the movies, there weren't many Black characters to see in film. And so the characters that we did see then were negative portrayals, robbers, hookers, and you know, just bad characters that we saw. We didn't see very many positive characters, or even large amount of characters in these roles. Does anyone have those same type of memories growing up as a kid and really wanting to see more people on the screen that looked like you or anyone that you know? Let's see. Yeah, we were usually the villains. That's true, Renee. We definitely were usually the villains. Let's see. So before I get more into the content for tonight, I want you to know that I have lots more amazingness that'll follow after tonight's training for aspiring filmmakers, or even if you're already a filmmaker and have made some projects. But you won't find out what that is until you stick with me until the very end. So what makes or will make this training different is that it has the true independent filmmaker in mind, not just filmmakers who have huge budgets or who have attachments. You know, attachments are actors who you and I would know if we saw them on screen. It has the true independent filmmaker in mind, and that you want to, at the end of this training, get your project done and have real actionable options to put in place to make your movie. Because if you searched online, like I have, those options are hard to find. They're few and far between. And if you do find anything, it's really just like crumbs, bits and pieces that you kind of have to piece together to make work for yourself. So I'm going to give you information that you can implement today. And more about me. I am an independent filmmaker. I have made films. I've also made some music videos. I've gotten into film festivals and won awards, despite me making movies from the very beginning and being very green, not really knowing what I was doing. I have gotten some successes from the very beginning. I've always been a huge reader, and so script editing I love to do. I love reading all types of stories. And this last bullet point here, they say is the ultimate flattery. I actually had a script stolen that I wrote and made into a Hollywood movie. I'll make it a short story. I wrote a script. I passed the script on to a couple of agencies out in Hollywood to get them to do coverage. And coverage is when they read your script, they let you know where the holes are, what you could do differently. They give you a summation from their viewpoint of what your script is about and what changes they think you could make. And then about 2 years after that, I knew I had in my mind that I wanted to make the film myself, but life. So I never made the movie. And about 2 years later, I saw a trailer for the movie on television. I was crushed, completely crushed. So if you're ever thinking, or if you've ever submitted your script for a pitch contest or script contest, be sure that you put some things in place before you do that, like having people sign a non-disclosure agreement or things like that, because what folks in Hollywood will tell you is like, oh, it costs too much money to try and seal your script, but they also know that if they change your script so much, of a certain percentage, that it's not technically your story anymore, even though the foundation is yours. That's a whole nother training, a whole nother talk that, you could save for another night. So that's more about me. Here's some more about me and some platforms that I've been featured on. Black and Married with Kids. I've gotten into these festivals, Urban Media Makers, Real Independent Film Extravaganza, East of the River, Martha's Vineyard. I've also been featured on 89.3, which is a radio station here in the Washington, D.C. area. Black Biz Live, which is a very popular platform for Black businesses. And in the bottom right, that's a script contest that I entered and got into the top 5 there. So those are some of my accolades. In making films, I have done a lot of things right. I was blessed enough to start off with a team that we really worked well together. We were all pretty hungry and willing to really go out and support each other. So I've been blessed in that right. Some things that I've planned worked out really well for me. But of course, I have done a lot of things wrong as well. A lot of things wrong. And after making several projects, what I have discovered is debt in the name of creating art is lame. This whole starving artist mentality is not what's up. That is not what's up. Using other people's money is best. And better funding practices positions you to be able to make more films. I've gone into a lot of debt to making films. I would start a film, have a credit card to use for that film, and charge, all of my items for the film. But in me doing that, it allowed me to only make one film a year because I'd spend the rest of the year paying off this credit card debt. And when you think about it, who works once a year? You want to be able to make more than one film a year because this is your business. This is what you're wanting to do. And I discovered all of this the hard way. Again, most people use credit. Asking someone who needs money for their own film doesn't make sense. So, looking to your filmmakers left and right doesn't really work. Clearing out your savings would leave you there. So yeah, I discovered all of this the hard way, but you being on this training tonight, you get tips and tricks to get it done the easy way. The hard way, again, like I just said, most people fund movie on credit cards, ask other filmmakers, clear out their savings. In making films, we all know that these are some of the things that you need to budget for film festivals, editing, producer, sound, craft services, what do people want to eat and drink while you're filming, lighting, props, the list can go on and on and on. And all of these things cost a lot of money, right? A lot of money. Here's a picture of budget here and saying no to the credit card debt. Making a film, it's not a game. And the cost of making a movie add up very, very quickly. Let's see, my first film that I made, I remember I hired a DP, director of photography, and the first day on set, we filmed the entire day. I remember we filmed on location. It was a space that I was renting. We filmed the whole day, and at the end of that night, I asked this person to let me see the footage, and it was horrible. And when I say it was horrible, it was like even an orange cast over the film reel that he had done all day. I have no idea how that could have even happened. So it was that orange cast. It was, the sound was terrible. Just the whole picture for the entire day was horrible. And, if you don't budget properly, a day like that can stop you from filming, because that's a whole day I had to do completely over. I had to find a new DP, because of course he got fired. I had to try and recoup my funds. I had to find or reschedule all the actors to see if they could come back and shoot that entire day all over again. So it put my entire project behind, and not having the funds or not budgeting properly can make or break your film. It could be the reason that you could continue on making this film, or that you have to stop and shelf it for a while, or not even be able to complete it at all. Let's see, when making small budget films, overages of the smallest amount, like I said, could stop you, hold you up indefinitely. So we want the easy way, that it creates the least amount of debt, doesn't rob you of your savings and your actual results, right? So we're about to get into the content, but I must let you know, these tips that I'm giving, the results are not typical. The tips are on my own, and yeah, this is pretty much just a disclaimer, letting you know that whether you try what I say to try or not, if it works or if it doesn't work, you can't hold me liable, right? So the 6 secrets that I am going to be covering today are crowdfunding, organizations, events, community, products, and grants. And first up, we have crowdfunding. So the definition of crowdfunding is the practice of funding a project or venture by raising small amounts of money from a large number of people, and typically it's done on the internet. Billions have been raised so far, and believe it or not, there are over 600 crowdfunding platforms worldwide. I was very, very surprised to read that. I'm sure that you all have heard of the more popular crowdfunding sites like GoFundMe, Kickstarter, and Indiegogo. Again, the point of crowdfunding is not to find a few people that are going to give you a lot of money, but find a lot of people who don't mind donating a little. And because donors are more apt to give a small amount of money because they feel like there isn't much of a loss. It's not a sum of money that they're actually going to miss. Now, of course, in anything, you have to do your own research. All of these sites are not created equal. Some offer, some are similar in certain areas and some are different in others. So a few things to look into for yourself when you're shopping for a crowdfunding site to use is, does that site have a platform fee or a fundraising fee? and what's the amount. This fee is the percentage charged for each donation that you receive, so they have to take their cut. A donor fee, which is a percentage of the donation that's charged to the donor. So are they going to take, are they going to make the donor pay when they say, for example, if they're going to donate $20, are they going to add on a fee to that $20? Or are they going to let them donate the $20 but charge you a fee once it gets to your side? What's the payment processing fee for each transaction? Some other things to look into: when and how will you receive your funds? Will it be when the campaign is over? And if so, how many business days later? Will it be weeks later? Will it be a month later? Do you get your money if your goal isn't met? So if you go onto this site and you say, hey, I'm wanting to raise $10,000 and you raise $8,000, does that mean you get that $8,000, or is that $8,000 forfeit because you didn't get the whole 10? And is that site protecting you or your donors from fraud? I know that I have, and I'm donate pretty often to filmmakers by crowdfunding sources, just because. But I have donated to films that were never made. I think there was one, it was like months had gone by. They had said that they were going to be filming, and I reached out to the filmmaker and tried to get my money back because they said they weren't going to make it. They didn't give me my money back, and neither did that site. So some sites do offer a type of protection for their donors when things like that happen. So in the design, don't feel like you need to recreate the wheel when you're picking a site and creating your page. Look at other successful crowdfunding pages that have raised money for film, and you take what you need from each of those pages that would work for you and your film. So those are just a few things to think about for crowdfunding pages and when you're creating or when you're choosing which company to go with. And so, you know, people aren't just going to give you money freely. It's expected that you give a reward that entices people to give you money for your campaign. A few examples of what you can give are t-shirts or hats, coffee mug, film poster, things like that. And you have different levels of giving where the rewards get better and better the more money that they give. So a lot of people view crowdfunding as an easy way to raise money. You know, all I have to do is put this site up and let the money roll in. Doesn't happen like that. Because like I said before, there's so many people with crowdfunding pages. So you have to be sure that the page that you create is very attractive. And, you know, it's not a snooze. People look at it and they're enticed by it, and they want to participate in helping you with your film succeeding. Because when you think about it, how many strangers on the street do you see when they ask you for money, you just give it to them, right? I remember back in the 90s, and again, I am dating myself. It was the time of mixtapes, where on every corner, pretty much, there was a guy who was a rapper who was like, you know, listen to my mixtape, I'm selling it for whatever amount of money. Most times I passed them up and said, no, thank you. But it was the ones that stood out that made me want to buy, right? Did they actually do a freestyle as I was standing there to talk to them? How was the packaging for their tape? What did they look like? How were they speaking? So it's the same type of thing. Why are people going to want to donate on your page? How are you standing out from the hundreds and thousands of other filmmakers that want this money just like you do? So a few tips for that. Starting early with your campaign. If you're thinking, oh, we're set to start filming in a couple of weeks, let me kick off this campaign and make a few $1,000s. Not going to happen like that. You have to start early, give yourself time to adjust your page if need be, give yourself time to grow your audience of donors and nurture them. They should be getting to know you and your process and what you're trying to do, what you're all about. Your cover campaign photo and the copy that you write about yourself and about your film should really stand out. You should be adding photos to grab people's attention as well. Photos of you on previous sets, photos on your film's subject matter, or interesting statistics about your film topic would work well on your site too. You may or you may not have a trailer when you start your crowdfunding page. If you don't have an actual trailer or concept trailer, you, the director or writer or whoever it is, can make a video of yourself speaking about why you're making this film, your background, why it's important to you, anything that will pull people in, make it very engaging. Why should a hardworking person care about your film and give you their hard-earned money? So you actually do have to work for it. You have to work for it. And then let the people know in your video exactly how the money will be used. I've seen pages where they have gone down and said X amount of dollars will be for sound, X amount of dollars will be for the director, for the camera crew, and they kind of list it out. This is what it's going to cost for me to make my movie, and this is why I'm asking you for this amount of money. And so your incentives, your rewards that you're giving to people shouldn't be boring either. If you're going to do a t-shirt, don't make it a plain t-shirt. Add some flair to it. If you're not really visually creative like me, I'm not. There's a site that I use and it's called Fiverr, Fiverr, and you can hire someone to make these designs for you. So your engagement with those that sign up to donate money should be tight. You're going to be asking them to, let's see, I somehow have someone, give me a second, guys. Okay, let's see, I'm talking about engagement. Let's see, yeah, your engagement should be tight. You're going to be asking people to share this campaign, and so you have to be sure that you give them a reason to share. Let's see, I hear someone. Let me see if I can mute them. Give me a second, guys. Okay, I don't hear them anymore. Okay, we're good to go. So in your engagement with them, update them on where you are in the process, what's happening, show, where you are on set or where you're going to be on set. The more that they get to know you in the process, the more they're likely to give you more money and to share your campaign with other people that they know. And be sure to invite them to follow you on social media where they will get to engage with you even more. So they'll get to engage with you and actors from your film and so on and so forth because you're really building a community around your film. So let's see. That's everything that I have so far on crowdfunding. And as I'm going along, you guys, if you have any questions or you have any additions that would help anyone that's actually on the training, just type it in the chat and let me know if you have any questions or need me to repeat something as I'm going along. So up next on our secrets list, secret number 2 is organizations. So think along the lines of the topic or subject of your film. For example, if your film is on, it's a STEM film, look for organizations that may be interested in giving you money towards your film. And then later on, you would have a viewing for their organization of your film. Same for organizations for kids or domestic violence. Right now, the hashtag #MeToo campaign is really strong. So if your film deals with that, I'm sure you'd be able to find organizations that will want to give money so that your film is made. Like I said, and you find those organizations and you let them know once your film is done, you'd be interested in hosting a viewing for their audience, and that's another opportunity for you to grow your community around your film. Be creative in your approach and always lead with value. What is donating to your film going to do for them? Let's see, are you looking at nonprofits or corporations? So the vast majority of subject themes, you most likely get a better amount of money and people will be more apt to talk to you on the nonprofit end, but definitely corporations too. I wouldn't limit who I reached out to for donations. Okay. And like I said, be creative in your approach, lead with value. Ask them, would they like to have their organization listed in your movie credits? That may be attractive to them to see their company scrolling or their organization scrolling in the movie credits. Or you could offer to send out a certain amount of social media posts to your audience for a certain amount of time, from this organization to let them know that you're willing to share what their organization is about to your audience. Again, you just really want to be as creative as possible when you're reaching out to organizations. Next, secret number 3, we have events. And again, it's all about thinking outside of the box instead of saying, I'm making a movie, give me some money. So first I have is parties. So let's say, for example, before you actually finish your script and you're kind of putting your final touches on it, you host a table read. Well, all of the actors come in and read through the entire script, and you invite people, and then afterward you have a party with the cast and crew. Again, nothing fancy, because the point of all of this is to actually make money. So nothing fancy, but you let everyone know that they'll have an awesome time and that the proceeds will be used to fund your project. Or host a watch party for a popular TV show or newly released movie at your home, and ask people to, come out and let them know to pay X amount of dollars to help you out with funding your film. But make it fun. Make it a good time for them where they don't mind donating their money. Another kind of outside of the box suggestion is a sort of telethon on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Set aside a time where you're going to go live on one of these platforms. You pick interesting topics to talk about during that time. So, pimp out a family member, a niece or nephew, have them play their instrument for a certain amount of time or sing or what have you. But make sure that you have a link ready to provide, like a PayPal link, where they can send you the funds. Let them know that you have this goal in mind, and that as you're going along in this makeshift telethon, let them know where you're getting, how far you're getting closer and closer to this goal, and as people give, you shout them out online. Next suggestion, and don't laugh because I'm so serious about this, is a type of fish fry. So I'm from the South, um, and I can remember a lot of times people hosting fish fries to raise money. Thanks, Renee. Yeah, I thought the telephone idea was pretty cool too. Pretty cool and easy. That one is a really easy one. But yeah, a fish fry, or like selling dinners. But if you're not really into that, doesn't have to be dinners, of course, but you find something to sell at a higher price point because it is an actual fundraiser. I have kids, I have three boys, and without fail, every year I get suckered into buying, how they have that bucket of cookie dough or those frozen pizzas. And I hate those things. But I know that it's for the greater good, that the PTA needs the money to use for whatever it is that they need for that school year. And so I buy it. So you find a thing that you can sell. Let's see, Danielle says, is it bad to have a pre-release party to show part of the film to help raise money for finishing the film? No, that's not a bad idea. And that's, I'm going to get to that example that I have for that a bit later. Somebody knows what they're talking about in here, Danielle. Thanks. But yeah, next on the list is raffles. And there's so many things that you could think of to raffle off. I spoke about a few of them a little bit earlier. Signed scripts, T-shirts, photos of the actors that they sign, signed film poster, tickets to your upcoming viewing. You could sell a spot in your film. People, they get kind of jazzed when they think about, hey, I'm going to be featured in a film. You could actually sell extra spots, and then you could sell speaking roles at a higher premium. Now, of course, you're not going to give them a lot to say, but that's another thing to think about, that you'd be able to sell tickets to an actual movie in the theater. If you buy them from like a Costco or Sam's or something like that, you can get them in bulk and raffle off movie tickets. And this is my next suggestion is going to go kind of what Danielle was just saying, your wrap party. Once your filming is done, you may still need money raised for post-production, when your editing and your sound and all of that is done. So you could have a wrap party, use that money for anything that comes after the film is done. Like I said, post-production, film festival, submission, your movie premiere. So Danielle's idea, yeah, where you would have a party and possibly even show your completed trailer. That would be cool. Show your completed trailer or certain parts of your film as a thank you for those who have come to support you. Last, I think I have for events is themed events. Let's say like a spades tournament, a game night, a kids talent show that could be put on for, a small amount of money. Parents always like to see their kids on stage, so they're going to pay to see that happen and have an award at the end that they could win. So like I said before, you just really have to think outside of the box on what people would feel like they are actually getting something out of it, as well as giving. Secret number 4, community. First up is family and friends. And yeah, they get really tired of hearing from us. So you have to be very strategic about what your approach is. Let's say, for example, you go to 10 of your closest friends and you say, hey, would you mind giving me $20 for the next movie that I'm going to make? And would you talk to your 10 most closest friends, tell them what I'm doing, and see if they could donate $20? And then you try and get it to be a domino effect, where the next 10 people talk to their 10 closest friends and ask them for $20 and so on. And you see how far you can get that going. Because everybody should have at least 10 people that they know that would just give them $20 and really, not care what they're going to do with it because it's a small amount of money. But once you get people to start inviting more and more and more, that pot kind of builds up. Community, your church, asking your pastor if he would make an announcement to the congregation that you are raising funds for your next movie. There's a caveat with this. Certain movie types you should not be going to your pastor for to ask for money. If you're in a fraternity or sorority, reaching out to them to find out if they have any money to donate. Posting on your social media pages that allow promotions. So certain film groups, if they allow promotion of what you're working on, they may allow you to post your crowdfunding site or whatever other site, your website where you're collecting funds. And then you make sure you're being very diligent about posting into those groups every week, and make sure that you post with different images so that all of your posts don't look the same and people start ignoring them because they are looking the same. But also be sure that you're engaging in those groups. So you're not just posting, coming in and posting what you want and jumping back out. Engage with other filmmakers there, wish them well. Congratulate them on what they have going on, their successes or what have you, or, just be active in the group. Don't just look like a taker. And then you've got to get your cast and crew involved because your success is also theirs. Ask them to share your info with their audience as well. And then also you can try the people that you have worked with in the past. Let them know that you're working on a new project and that you appreciate if they could donate or share with their audience, of course. Now on to secret number 5, which is products. Now we spoke a little bit about products earlier. So to avoid being stuck with a ton of stuff that you can't get rid of, I suggest using a drop shipping company like Printful. And the way that Printful works is that you have your own Printful account, your items on your website, and when someone orders something that you're selling, that order goes to Printful, and Printful fulfills that order completely. They print whatever it is that you're selling, and they ship it off to whoever has bought it, and they take a cut of sales, and then you receive the rest. And again, that company's name is Printful. You can use the same products that we mentioned, that I mentioned earlier in your crowdfunding campaign. Sell the products from your film website, which you most certainly, definitely should have. You could sell, like I said earlier, producer credits in your film, sell product placement spots. So for small businesses that are interested in having their product shown in your movie, you could sell those spots. If you know someone that is starting a clothing line or t-shirt line, you can make sure that one of your actors is wearing some apparel that they've made. If you know someone who's written a book, you could make sure that their book is shown in a scene, or any other products. You could sell product placement, lotion, shampoo, whatever it may be. You could offer that. Like I said before, signed script, film poster, that type of thing. If you have an original soundtrack to your film, you could also sell that for download. Another idea, because journaling is so huge right now, you can make a simple PDF file. I don't know if you've ever heard of Canva, Canva.com. which is helps you to create images. I use it all the time because I'm terrible at things like that, but they have a bunch of templates. So you'd be able to go on that site, pick a journal template, add quotes from your movie or other inspirational quotes that you can think of to that, and then you'd be able to sell a movie journal to people. Like I said before, it's really all about just thinking outside of the box and doing things that are out of the norm that people really haven't seen before that would incite people to give you their money towards your film. And last, secret number 6 is grants. Number 1, of course, Google is your friend. Going to the internet and searching for film grants would come up. You'd come up with a lot of hits. But definitely do your research, your due diligence, and finding out what works for you and the type of movie that you're making. Check out your local film office for resources. People really don't use their local film offices enough. They have a ton of resources. Film organizations such as Women in Film and Video, contact any universities that have a film program. They may know where you can find grants. Your local credit union banks in your area have a ton of community resources. They would definitely be a resource of it may not be film grants, but they usually have resources in the community for where you could find money for your film. Check out your local public broadcasting television station. They may be able to have resources, and they may even be able to host you on a community highlight type of television show where you could speak about your film and share that you're raising money for this film, or radio station, same thing. And like Danielle said earlier, nonprofits we definitely have information as well on where to find film grants. So this has been a lot. I'm gonna take a sip of my water. This has been a lot tonight, and would you all agree that it has been time well spent so far? Thank you, Renee. Thank you. I hope that I have given you some tips that you've not heard of before. I had a ton of other things. I tried to narrow it down as much as I could. And I couldn't cover everything in an hour, even if I had all day. There's just so much information. But I want you to know, as we're getting to the end, I do have an awesome offer where you could get so much more beyond this small piece in making film, beyond funding. And, if you act fast tonight, I'm going to give you a very special deal because, what you see, sorry guys, I need another sip of water. What you see isn't always what you get. A lot of people make promises without delivering, and I've been where you are today. As I said earlier, I am an independent filmmaker. I started out, 11 years ago, I started out when I made my first film. So yeah, I know what an independent filmmaker truly needs. You're going to be thrilled with what I have to offer. So it's a 3-session training. I put a lot of work into it. Everything that you need to know to sell and market your film yourself. So I've come up with key marketing strategies of what to do before you've made your film, during filming, and after your film is made. So the key marketing strategies, like I said, your must-haves in pre-production. A lot of filmmakers feel like they're going to write a script, have the money to make the movie, have their people on board, make the film, and then make the money. But it doesn't work like that. You have to put very strategic plans in place from the very beginning. And I'm talking before your script is even done. There are many things that you should be thinking about and putting in place before your script is even made. And then session 2, I'm going to go into what to do during filming. You know, some things that will set you up to make money when the film is done. And like I said, this is during filming. And then actionable steps to make after your movie is complete. You know, in this digital age that we're in right now, there's so much video content added daily. There's actually about, and it's probably more than this now, but 300 hours of videos are added to YouTube every minute. 300 hours every minute. And a lot of filmmakers say, hey, I'm going to put my movie on YouTube. How will you compete with that volume of movies that are added to YouTube every minute? You have to have strategic plans in place. Now, who these trainings are for: the filmmaker that wants to grow an audience immediately from the very start. Yeah, that's a lot, Danielle, right? It's hard to compete with that volume of video. This is for the filmmaker that wants to be in control of how their film is distributed, and the filmmaker that wants to generate money from movie sales. And when I say generate money, I mean profit. Not that, you know, people come to your viewing, they view your movie, and you're actually paying yourself back for things that you paid for during filming. You want to see yourself making actual profit. So of course, I had to add in some bonuses. I spent days compiling this list, and it's a filmmaker grant list. So I've done all of the work for you. All of that time you would be sifting through Google or contacting this place and that place, I've done that for you. I've a filmmaker grant list that has a whole, like, pages of resources for you to be able to fund your next project. And bonus number 2, I have another list that took me a lot of time to compile. It's a very thorough list, 107 free filmmaker forms and templates. Doesn't matter how long you've been making movies. Doesn't matter if you've ever made a movie. All of these, well, not all of them. All of them are beneficial. No matter what stage you're at, you'll be able to find different forms of templates that fit exactly where you are. Now, if all this did was get you 50 new followers that never heard of you, or have those 50 people share your journey with one person, and increase the sales of your movie by 50 when it's done, and have those 50 strangers on board to support your next film, that's another domino effect. 50 people you've never heard of. If those 50 people shared your journey, that's what, 100 people? If one person did that, we're talking about a crowd of people that would follow you and support you and become your tribe, so that when you make your next film, those people are ready and waiting for that next film. Would that be worth it? I think so. It's hard to get people to join in and want to see a film you've made, but then also be on board when you're ready to make your next one. And we're talking about creating this audience for you from the very beginning. So what's having your film seen, generating money, and creating a following worth to you? So we all know that making a film these days, yeah, you can go out with your cell phone. But in actually, you know, making a film of good quality and substance could cost you a lot of money. And so this information that I'm offering, would you say is for $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, maybe more, when you're looking at how this is going to build your audience and make you money? We're talking a repeatable process that works to market and sell each film that you make. So you're talking about paying for this and being able to use it over and over and over again. Now you can see why this would be a good deal at $600. You know, $397 for general public is what I was thinking. But because this is my debut of this training, I'm offering enrollment for just $197, just $197 for 3 sessions, 3 one-hour sessions, where I'm going to take a deep dive into what you should be doing before you make your film, while you're filming, and when you are done. $197. And the sign-up link or sign-up site is bit.ly sell my movie. The training dates are actually next week. I got some folks already signed up, which I'm pretty excited about. But training starts next week, June 26th, 27th, and the 28th. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. So you have two choices. The first option, you don't do anything, not take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free. Or your second option is to put up this small investment today compared to all of the value that you're going to get in return, and just give it a chance. If it works for you, cool. If not, just ask for your money back and I will refund your money. Now that's a huge guarantee. I'm confident enough that once you've gone through these 3 trainings, you will have learned enough to set yourself up to make money from your next film, that if you feel like you're not, then I'm going to give you your money back. Yep, 30-day guarantee. If you sign up today, and then if after 30 days of implementation, you didn't like the tips, you didn't see where they would work for you, you just let me know and I'll give you your money back. You have to get started now. Again, that link is bit.ly/sell my movie. Now, the real question, of course, is this worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check it out? Which, if it is worth half of what I've claimed today, then you'll more than make back the price of the trainings at the $197, right? So again, today, sign up now. The link again is bit.ly/sell my movie. And like I said at the very beginning, other trainings will give you bits and pieces to work with. With my everything that you need to know to sell and market your film yourself training, you're going to get equipped with real actions where you will see real results. I've made films myself. I've gone into a ton of debt making the film. I've gone into debt submitting to film festivals. You have to go to these film festivals. You have to pay to eat there. You have to pay for your hotel. All these things that you have to pay for, that if you had taken the time out to plan for from the very beginning, you'd see a huge difference in how everything ended up. So here we have the tale of 2 people. The woman on the left waiting on the phone to ring. You could be waiting on whatever. Are you waiting for Hollywood to knock at your door to pick up your script and say, you're going to be the next Issa Rae. You're going to be the next Ava DuVernay. You're going to fly off and do great things. Is that the call that you're waiting for? Or are you the person on the right that's sitting there making it happen for themselves, being in charge of their own destiny and getting their film made and making sure that they're making the money themselves? They're not waiting. So again, let me show you what to do next. You go to this link here, bit.ly/sell my movie. You'll be brought to sales page, where you can sign up for this training. And like I said, there is a 30-day money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied after implementing everything that I offer you in the training. Again, what you're going to get in session 1, the must-haves to do in pre-production before your film is made. Number 2, session, what to do during filming. Session 3, your actionable steps to take after your movie is complete. Yes, Danielle. Bonus number 1, filmmaker grant list, your resources to use to fund your next project. And bonus number 2, which I'm missing there, 107 free filmmaker forms and templates. And I spent a lot of time putting those 2 together. They're really awesome, awesome bonuses that I created for you guys, because I really want filmmakers to succeed. I really want us to be able to get out here and start changing the narrative of how we're seeing ourselves instead of waiting for someone else to do it for us. So I really thank you guys for joining me tonight. I know we all have our own things to do. And, you know, I'm just really appreciative that you took the time out to come and sit and listen to me tonight. Again, I am Tamika of Real 365. If you have any questions, my email address is down there at the bottom. Contact us at real365.com. Use the second .com. I got a little .com happy there. Like I said, my name is Tamika. For anyone who's still on, I see now we still have some folks on right now. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have about what we covered tonight. If you have any additions to help anyone that's on right now about funding for their film, or if you have any questions about the 3-night training that I am doing next week, I'd be happy to answer those questions as well. Like I said, the training is going to be so awesome. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm also hoping that I have a special guest on the 3rd night of training. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say much about it. I'm not going to say anything about it. But I'm hoping to secure someone that I really look up to as far as a filmmaker and distribution that's made a lot of money making his film. So hopefully I'll be able to have him on the 3rd night. Let's see, Danielle says, can you mention the bonus? No, you mentioned before charging for product placement. How do you figure out how much to charge? You know, it's not going to be a lot, because you figure these people are trying to get their own thing going. I've been on sets where it's been $50 to $100 for a book spot. I've seen books. I've seen clothes. I would say would be $100 to $200, because you figure that's if an actor is going to be wearing that, that's going to be a lot of screen time. I think it depends on which business it is and what you're going to be displaying and how long it's going to be displayed, and then you go from there. Any other questions, comments, suggestions? Okay, so if there is nothing else, I just want to say thank you again to everyone who joined me tonight. And again, my email address is contact us at Real365. Any other suggestions or questions, just let me know and I will get right back to you. And I hope everyone has an awesome, amazing